Could the Wyatt Sicks continue one of Bray Wyatt's plans that he had in mind a few years back? And what's going on regarding Howdy targeting multiple people at once? The community has been buzzing with lots of theories and possibilities that this new Wyatt legacy faction could dive back into. One of those big being the introduction of the Uncle Harper character. When Bray Wyatt returned in 2022, WWE had filed the trademark rights to two names that looked like they were going to play significant roles in Bray Wyatt's story. One of those names was Uncle Howdy, which definitely didn't take us long for us to meet at all. If you go back and watch the Extreme Rules 2022 return, Uncle Howdy goes up on the screen and talks before Bray Wyatt even stepped out to the arena himself. So we were introduced to Uncle Howdy instantly, and we learned a lot about him in the weeks that followed. Uncle Howdy appeared to be Bray's uncle within Bray's universe, and Uncle Howdy had deep love for Bray. But the main issue with him was that he didn't feel like Bray Wyatt was being honest with everyone. Bray came back in 2022 with a humble and peaceful demeanor, and Uncle Howdy just wasn't buying it and wasn't having it. Howdy continued week after week to try and push Bray Wyatt back into his old ways. Howdy even tried telling Bray Wyatt to put the mask back on, which could have been taken in a literal or figurative way. Howdy could have been referring to the idea of Bray Wyatt actually putting back on the Fiend's mask himself, or maybe Howdy was simply referring to Bray Wyatt putting back on the mask of who he once was as an evil person. That was the big narrative of the story there for the first few weeks. Howdy was pushing Bray to be evil again and hurt people, just like the old days. And finally, around Royal Rumble 2023 is when Bray started to cave in to Uncle Howdy and reveal a new monster. Bray wrestled with a new mask and a new look at Royal Rumble 2023, but we never got to know if there was a special name for this monster that Bray used against LA Knight. But this is when those old trademarks come back into play. The other name alongside Uncle Howdy that WWE has filed for was the name of Uncle Harper. So we were heavily introduced and made familiar with Uncle Howdy, but we never were introduced to this other character that Bray was going to bring along the way. Since very little to pretty much nothing at all is known about the Uncle Harper character, he's pretty much a complete mystery. Was Uncle Harper going to be the name of Bray's new monster and alter ego to match alongside with Uncle Howdy? That definitely could have been a possibility. Howdy would have kept pushing for Bray so hard that maybe the endgame really was Bray portraying the Uncle Howdy persona himself. The other clear fact about Uncle Harper is the name itself, Harper. It looks like Bray intentionally wanted the character to be named Harper as a tribute to Brodie Lee's life and his portrayal of Luke Harper within the Wyatt family. It looks like Bray had the vision and had everything in motion to possibly lead towards the Uncle Harper reveal. But now that Uncle Howdy's back and continuing Bray's legacy and remembrance strong and well, we gotta wonder if the possibility to see Uncle Harper could come back into play. Maybe it's a big character that gets portrayed by someone else down the line. Maybe Uncle Howdy gives that name to one of his current male Wyatt Sicks members. It just seemed like there was a vision in place back then for both Uncle Howdy and Uncle Harper, so you gotta wonder if they open back up the book on that story direction. As far as targets go with Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sicks, that conversion is heating up, because at least for the time being, it doesn't look like the group is solely focusing on just one person at a time. Like we recently discussed, Uncle Howdy has taken over Adam Pearce's page multiple times now, wanting him to remember his last time as the postman on the Firefly Funhouse. So, while all that was going on with Adam Pearce, Uncle Howdy is also coming after Pat McAfee. After Pat's show ended in a weird and strange way, fans speculated that the show was probably attacked by the Wyatt Sicks. But the very next morning, Pat took to Twitter to clear up the conversation and said that the outage had nothing at all to do with the Wyatt Sicks, and showed a video of actually what caused the strange ending to his prior show. But then, on the very next edition of Pat's show, Uncle Howdy unquestionably hijacks the live feed with a message that read, "You lied." with that message most likely being aimed towards Pat McAfee for lying and saying that the Wyatt Sicks had nothing to do with his recent outages. And Pat had a lot of people fooled there, thinking maybe it was just a coincidence and had nothing to do with the Wyatt Sicks. But Howdy came right back around and exposed Pat for that lie. So that's already Adam Pearce and Pat McAfee confirmed to be Uncle Howdy's crosshairs. And maybe this is how the Wyatt Sicks are handling their business. They're already destroying all the backstage personnel with their initial arrival. Now it looks like WWE officials and commentators is who they're after right now. So Adam Pearce and Pat McAfee appear to be next in line to face the group's fury. And once they're done with them, maybe that's when they start turning towards the direction of the superstars. We already seen them take out Chad Gable, who was the only superstar attacked at the massacre. So that's a strong sign that a full feud between Howdy and Gable could be high on their list. Some fans have been wondering if Jey Uso can also be near the top of the Wyatt Sicks list. They might have not attacked him during their arrival, but they did technically interrupt his post-match celebration on Raw. Could that itself be a hint that they're right on him as well? Some fans think that's the case, and they've also been pointing all their little story details to support their theory. Ever since Backlash, Jey Uso has had the Fireflies become a big part of his everyday WWE entrance. Jey even went as far to jump on social media to basically boost about having the Fireflies and claim full ownership of them. But in a post-Raw interview following the massacre, Jey Uso completely backstepped and said that he doesn't want any issues with the Wyatt Sicks and that Howdy can have the Fireflies back, no question about it. But fans are wondering if maybe it's too late for Jey to just hand them back and that they're already coming for him. Some fans think that a feud like that could kick off between a big moment such as the Wyatt Sicks causing Jey Uso the Money in the Bank contract. But again, that may be a feud for Howdy down the line. For the time being, it does seem like he's dialed in on Chad Gable, Adam Pearce, and Pat McAfee. After Chad Gable was attacked during the massacre, WWE announced that Gable would be pulled from the Money in the Bank qualifying match. But late Friday evening, Adam Pearce posted a video delivering the news that Chad Gable was cleared to compete. However, that video from Adam Pearce was hijacked by Howdy and contained many Howdy-related jump scares and glitches, once again teasing that Wyatts aren't done with Chad Gable. And even the Smackdown recap of the massacre provided some more context to everything that was going on. The recap confirmed that each of the Wyatt Sicks members are all living visions of the previous Firefly Funhouse puppets. And when Chad Gable was shown from the attack, quick flashes of Gable being abusive towards the Alpha Academy was quickly shown. And that most likely explains why Gable was targeted by Howdy in the first place. Uncle Howdy wasn't too pleased with Chad Gable's recent change in behavior and how he's been treating his Alpha Academy family lately. So Howdy is making him pay for that. The Wyatt Sicks story is already very exciting, so hopefully it continues to fully deliver. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.